I gotta climb to my chair every time I start filming. Oh, can I feel that? I don't buckle my bodysuits when I'm filming because I just don't want it up my ass at this time. Not now, maybe later. I need help. Speaking of help, hi everyone. Today's video. Wow, let me get into serious girl mode here. Hi everyone, my name is Isabella and welcome back to the channel. All right, we talk about unethical company scams and very interesting corners of the internet here on the channel. And today we're talking about BetterHelp again. Many of you guys know exactly what I'm talking about when I mention BetterHelp. We are talking about the therapy company who got into some severe legal trouble. And I'm kind of recapping on many things that we've found out today, other problematic things going on with BetterHelp, and essentially what's been going on ever since we originally saw a lot of the news about how the FTC decided to rip BetterHelp a brand new one. So that's what we're covering in today's video. I'm definitely excited to hop back into it again because this has been a topic I've been so fascinated with, and I have a lot of things I want to discuss with you that I have come to learn. Before I hop into today's video, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, or click the bell button down below. My merch, second channel, podcast, Instagram, TikTok, all that good stuff is down in the description below if you guys want to hang out with me more. And yeah, let's get into it. Again, quick backstory. BetterHelp. What is BetterHelp? BetterHelp is a platform that is a self-proclaimed therapy platform that essentially markets itself off as a way to have therapy at more of a convenient thing. Like I'm going to tell you right now, a lot of y'all are getting ads for BetterHelp right now on this damn video. I'm really sorry I can't control that. All I gotta say is I'm sure you're getting ads galore on BetterHelp, right? You see them on TikTok, you see them on Facebook, you get them through text or email, you just get a lot of annoying things about BetterHelp. And many people have utilized them for services and many people haven't and quite luckily didn't. Now again, real huge disclaimer, as this is a platform that is all about therapy and mental health and everything, I just want to say and make this very, very obvious. Getting help and getting therapy is a very, very good thing if you are able to have access to it and have the means. I am someone that goes to therapy. I love it. It is so nice and helpful. When we talk about therapy and mental health and everything, we're not going to shame anyone here. Therapy is a wonderful thing that can be so helpful for many. It might not be as helpful for some, but either way, depending on your needs, it can be a really, really beneficial thing for if you're really going through stuff, or even if you're not, you just kind of need another educated individual's perspective that can really guide you through different experiences in life. Now, therapy has been something that so many people have wanted or just overall needed because again, it assists people in progressing through their life when it comes to their mental health struggles and just everyday living. However, a big downfall of therapy, as many of us know, is how expensive it is. It is so insanely expensive without insurance, and even with insurance, some people have to pay a pretty penny. So lots of people have been wanting to find a solution for that, to get affordable therapy that was easy, that was in the comfort of your own home. And with that was where BetterHelp essentially stepped into the world. And BetterHelp was essentially going to be the answer for everything. You could switch any therapist however many times at no charge. So you were able to easily access someone that's perfect for you. You can get it at an affordable rate, even if you didn't have insurance. It was at the comfort of your own home, so you don't have to go into an office. It just overall was supposed to be an amazing platform. And not only that, BetterHelp was going to be offering you other tools and information just overall about therapy and mental health in general on their website. So they were apparently going to have absolutely everything for you, except for BetterHelp was exposed for doing a lot of sketchy things. And quite frankly, it hasn't gotten as much attraction that I expected to or thought that it should. And again, I know a lot of you guys see so many different content creators that you know and love today who are getting sponsored by BetterHelp. And I'm over here thinking, why is BetterHelp not getting like ignored completely? Smile Direct Club, shit out of luck, done, shut down whatsoever. Well, apparently they're still doing so good. And in my opinion, they're that much of a corrupt company that they can quite frankly get away with a lot. And they're at a point, it looks like, where even if the FTC finds them, whatever happens, it's a slap on the wrist and they can't get away with it. So there's many different resources and things that I'm going to have linked in the description below to give you guys some further insight if you are curious or are needing to show somebody. But I am going to walk you guys through some of the problems with BetterHelp. So this actually started a long time ago. Originally, BetterHelp was caught essentially doing a lot of messy things when it comes to your personal data. Now, this is off of classaction.org, which is a really great resource, by the way. But this is last updated March 27th of 2023. BetterHelp class action alleged platform illegally shared users' mental health data with major online advertisers. So essentially, BetterHelp faces two putative class action lawsuits. Okay, so not one, two big ass lawsuits. And I don't think enough people talked about this. Proposed by the Federal Trade Commission, also known as the FTC, ordering banning the online counseling platform from sharing consumers' data from advertising purposes. Now, again, with sharing data, a lot of us are kind of like immune to it in a way. We're like, oh, well, this company takes our data and does this. There are some boundaries that need to not be crossed, okay? Like, for example, your address should not just be out there on the internet. I don't agree with that. I think that's gross and wrong. No one should just be able to freely find out where you live. That's very, very messed up, right? No one should know my password to get onto my Amazon and my Kindle. I got some nasty ass books on there that never needs to see the light of day, right? We need privacy, okay? That also includes if you speak to a therapist and if you talk and work with a therapy company. And BetterHelp apparently was just like, we're protecting your data. Like, you don't have anything to worry about. And we're like, oh my God, great. I can trust you because like, this has got to do with like HIPAA and you're not going to air out my personal information, duh. And then they're like, actually, we're going to protect you to an extent, but we are going to use your data in a way that we should not over here. Let's get into it. The BetterHelp lawsuits were filed by Sudan. Oh boy, Belly, you got this. The BetterHelp lawsuits were filed by pseudonymous plaintiffs in California last week, the days after the FTC said the company must not disclose consumer-sensitive mental health data to third parties, including Facebook, Pinterest, Criteo, and Snapchat, among others, and they ordered the platform to pay users $7.8 million, which is a decent amount, but quite frankly, if we look at the grander scheme of things and see BetterHelp, how much money they're making, $7.8 million is genuinely pocket change to them, okay? BetterHelp allegedly continued breaking its promises to protect users' data and private information, instead leveraging the data to target existing and new customers with advertising for its services. The other complaint, though, that was filed on March 11th says BetterHelp's goal in transmitting user data to third-party advertisers was not to actually benefit patients in any way, but to instead boost its market share and cultivate and maintain relationships with various social media platforms. Are we surprised that they're not prioritizing their customers, but they're prioritizing other major corporations? Who would have thunk it? Defendants, quote, defendants' actions constitute an extreme invasion of plaintiff class members' right to privacy and violate several statutory and common law doctrines. Now, here's the thing. I personally think that this is still happening to this day. So if you go to BetterHelp right now, and if you really do some digging, you're able to fill out a questionnaire when you get started and are able to fill out some information to essentially get started in the entire process to get a therapist. The problem is that information is allegedly used to push all of your data out to other people and other platforms for their marketing uses. Now, according to this lawsuit's claims, they were talking about how several times BetterHelp was like, we don't do that. We don't do that. Don't gotta worry. We don't do that. And the problem is they would essentially allegedly be giving this information to like Facebook, Snapchat, and many other companies and the personal information about you for marketing purposes. Because again, if they can get little personal data about you, they can push out more ads, or other companies can essentially buy that data from them and push out more ads of their own of whatever the case may be. And after a certain extent, that's illegal. It continues on by saying, according to the FTC, BetterHelp from 2018 to 2020, which that is a big chunk of time, used consumers' email addresses and, quote, the fact that they had previously been in therapy to help Facebook identify similar consumers and target them with ads for BetterHelp services. So for you, example, didn't sign up, they're going to harass you until you do, from what we're seeing according to this information. This tactic apparently was what helped the company bring in tens of thousands of new paying users and millions of dollars in revenue. So again, like I said, 7.8 million versus the millions they're already making, it doesn't matter then with this fine. And again, allegedly, they pushed for consumers to divulge sensitive information by repeatedly misrepresenting its privacy policies and nudging them with unavoidable prompts to sign up for its counseling services. And what's even worse is this has been going on for far longer. The FTC accused BetterHelp of numerous consumer healthcare privacy violations from 2013 through December 2020. That is years and years and years of this. That is insane to me.
I also have an email that I would love to spread the news about, that BetterHelp is not a HIPAA compliant platform.
And did they say that?
They did. I have that email too.
Wow.
Because I write HIPAA compliant in my not my terms of service, but one of my intake forms where it like sets up what you can expect from the therapeutic relationship and what you can expect from me, what I expect from you as a client in return. So one of those things is you have the right to have protected health information shared between me. This is how I protect it. This is a HIPAA compliant platform. They sent me 2 emails letting me know that I should change that language because due to ongoing, I can read it.
BetterHelp's platform is not HIPAA compliant. Basically, they've made it possible or have, I don't know, not paid attention to the fact that people's emails, people's IP addresses, and people's responses to the intake questionnaires that they take in order to receive services have been leaked to other sites, have been sold to other sites. Basically how like Facebook sells your data or whatever the hell, like BetterHelp has allowed that to happen and has not done anything to rectify that situation. That is putting people's identities out there at risk, that is putting people's mental health concerns at risk, and confidentiality and the duty to do no harm. Like, those are two of the biggest like ethical guidelines that mental health providers are supposed to abide by, and BetterHelp does not require that, and does not make it a safe space for people's information to be protected at all whatsoever. Also, the fact that there are literal life coaches on BetterHelp pretending, or whatever, I don't know the right word to say, basically masking as licensed clinical mental health providers. Yes, you do have to go through a certification process or whatever to be a life coach, but you are not a mental health provider. BetterHelp does not require that people disclose that. BetterHelp literally pretty much made a statement or whatever saying that like all of their providers are licensed, and no, they're not. And some of the providers that are licensed are not acting ethically and legally, which is a huge concern. Everyone deserves access to safe and easily accessible and affordable mental health care, but BetterHelp is definitely taking advantage of people seeking those things. And it's really unfortunate that big creators are being paid to promote that, and it seems like they don't know what's going on.
And of course, as we are very, very used to seeing with a lot of really awful corporations and all their accidents, as they like to call it, they allegedly, again, according to all this articles and citing from the FTC, the complaint says that BetterHelp in 2017 delegated most of the decision-making authority over the company's use of Facebook ads to a, quote, junior marketing analyst who was a recent college graduate and had never worked in marketing and had no experience and little training. Genuinely, does BetterHelp think we're all stupid? Like, we're just gonna blame it on the, oh damn, this like recent college grad. Ugh. With all this being said, there was many other allegations as well that I have recently come to realize is they talked about how HIPAA violations weren't really considered HIPAA violations in this. So for example, this company was able to do certain things that like a hospital would be allowed to get away with. So essentially, if you were to go and talk to somebody, or if you go and tell something to this platform, anything can happen with your information or data. I was rediving into all this information. If you're telling some very, very personal information to a therapist on here or a website, what's to say then that it can't get out and be leaked on the internet as well? If they have this much of a data just hand out to all these other companies, what's there to say that they wouldn't be giving all of your other personal information and tracking all of it? I mean, for example, who's to say that they wouldn't be tracking certain types of therapy when it comes to LGBTQ+, or people who are going through divorces, or maybe people who are going through abusive relationships? What if they track that and would use it at marketing? I know that sounds like insane and so out there, but I was genuinely thinking, like, what if they were able to really focus on things like this and get that kind of data to target people even further? Again, I don't have any information to back this up. I'm just saying, with the type of data that was leaked already, allegedly by BetterHelp, I'm just saying it wouldn't surprise me if they took it even farther, because in my opinion, it appears that they prioritize money far more over people's mental health. And of course, when it comes to the FTC going after your ass, you would assume that there would be a better response. And what we could see is, honestly, BetterHelp's response was very like careless and like, oh, well, whoopsies. Like, they tried to essentially rationalize it and be like, well, I mean, like, we didn't really do anything that bad. And they were genuinely trying to be like, we really didn't do anything that, like, we were fine. You're overthinking this. Like, they genuinely didn't give a shit. And so with them not giving a it blew my mind, because again, some of this stuff really came to the surface in around March of 2023. And so we've had like almost like we're getting closer to almost a year since then. And the fact that they just didn't give a shit blows my damn mind. It also blows my mind because we didn't really see any actual like responses created by BetterHelp. They didn't go out of their way to be like, hey, this is what we're doing to revise. This is how we messed up. This is where we could do better. I didn't see any actual addressing of the situation, in my opinion. And it just looked like they kept on trucking along, not giving a shit about any of this. Now, again, as we've come to realize, there are many other negative experiences that people have had when it comes to BetterHelp, and this is kind of where I'm leading into, is the consumer's experiences. Now, again, I do want to give a huge preface to this by saying, if you've had a positive experience with BetterHelp, as I have said in a previous video about this, like, you don't need to cancel. You don't need to feel bad for using this platform. If it's worked for you, good. We want that. We don't want companies mistreating consumers, period. What we want is for consumer awareness. So if you come across this video and you're like, ooh, shit, I don't know if I want to go to BetterHelp, it at least is giving you both sides of the story. So if you want to, you can, but at least you know what to possibly expect, so that way you're not a victim of awful mistreatment when it comes to the company or apparently therapists. And then additionally, there were so many people who I saw on TikTok that's posting even now to this day, discussing how they still have awful experiences when it comes to therapists and people who genuinely are just not treating this right.
Do not do BetterHelp. Do not do BetterHelp. And let me tell you why. I don't care if they don't sponsor me after this video, but do I have a story for you? A few weeks ago, ago, I was very down bad. So I was like, Ryan, you need a fucking therapist for the first time ever. Like, you've been wanting a therapist for years, so it's finally time to do it. But I live in Japan, so it's really hard to get a therapist here, especially if you're a foreigner, on top of finding an English-speaking therapist that's not a $500 bajillion. So I sought out to do BetterHelp, which is what everyone fucking does these days because it seems perfect. It seems like it seems unreal. It seems too good to be true, and it is. I literally got a therapist. It took like 2 days to find a therapist for me, and I was like really excited. I like had my appointments booked or whatever, and so I have my appointment, and the therapist that I got had like really good reviews or whatever. She was British, so she had a British accent. I was like, slay. I really liked her actually, until into the appointment she had me doing Chinese acupuncture exercises, which is where I basically just say like words of affirmation and tap myself on different parts of my body, like mainly right here and right here under my eye. And she was basically just telling me what to say, which were just words of affirmation to myself, saying like, oh, I love myself. I will not feel this way anymore. But one thing about me is I'm willing to give anything a shot. So I was like, okay, I'll fucking try it. I'm so down bad. Like, I'm just gonna fucking try this. It seems like some bullshit, but whatever. But we're doing this for literally like 30 minutes. And she would go off of camera sometimes like and do other stuff while just like trying to come up with things that I should tell myself. Like, it seemed like she really just did not fucking care. And it would get to a point that we were doing it for so long that she started repeating the same things that she was telling me to say. So it just felt really weird. But even after that, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna do another session with her. Besides the Chinese acupuncture exercises, I liked her. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna do another appointment with her. And if I don't like it the second time, then I'll change therapists. So I do another one, same fucking thing. She's going off of camera. This time she's in Austria on vacation, and she's doing the same thing with Chinese acupuncture exercises. And I was not feeling it. Like, it seemed like this was just like her routine with like every patient. So I was like, I'm gonna switch therapists. So I click switch therapist, immediately cuts off any sort of contact with her. I can never talk to her again. I'm like, okay, so now I have 6 other options of therapists. I don't like any of them. It's really weird. So I'm like, I paid $300 for this month of this subscription, so I'm just gonna go back to my old therapist and do my last 2 sessions. No, can't do that because it cut off all communication with her. So I have to pick from these like 6 therapists that I don't really vibe with.
Now, again, I know this goes to say that it's not just BetterHelp. There are many other platforms and just situations and organizations in general that are awful, and they don't do what they're supposed to do. And there's people who have had traumatizing experiences with therapists, and that is completely wrong. I do get very upset when I see a very consistent pattern with a company, and I don't feel like it's being properly addressed. And again, still to this day, with those kinds of claims and discussions kind of being passed around through the internet, you would think as BetterHelp, you would want to try and address it. I just think BetterHelp has honestly gone to the deep end. That's way too far at this point. So at the end of the day, when it comes to BetterHelp, what have we learned now? We still see many other people that are discussing their negative experiences with BetterHelp to this day, which is absolutely devastating. We still see very shy walk around the situations and their problematic behaviors by BetterHelp, for what I'm seeing. Apparently still we're blaming the junior marketing analyst or whatever. That's stupid for another day. And overall, lots of people are still partnering with this company, and it's almost as if it never happened, which is why I'm covering it again, because I hope that people can at least look at this video and be like, damn, okay, maybe I will go with them, but I'll at least know what to look out for when it comes to red flags, or shit, actually, never mind, I'll go to a different company. I haven't looked into any other companies to thoroughly like dive into other options for you guys, so I personally don't know, but all I'm gonna say is there's many other people when it comes to therapists actually that do not like this company. There are other people that are just regular consumers that don't like this company, and overall it looks like the FTC has cracked down on them pretty hard because of how problematic they are. And I just think it's very, very upsetting, because when it comes to mental health, this is literally no joke, and the fact that there's people who genuinely seriously need help and aren't able to get that because they're getting bombarded with marketing, which is ridiculous. But not to mention, they're also going to an unreliable source, in my opinion. I just think that's so disappointing. So that was it for today's video, and a little bit of a kind of circle back and discussion on BetterHelp. And I really, quite frankly, hope that this gets in front of the right people, just so it's kind of like a recap of like, hey, this is still something I don't want people to forget about. This is still something that I would be concerned about if I was you, if you are looking into getting access to therapy. Again, if it works for you, if you do like it, if you want to, take it on your own risk. I, of course, I'm not trying to say never go for them again. I'm just saying be as careful as you can and know that if something bad happens, it's not your fault. And some companies just honestly suck. I'm just really hoping that people could find other good options out there. But yeah, I wanted to kind of recap and talk about this company again, because it's just very disappointing to see how this company is still just flourishing and making stupid money to this day. So that was it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.